If you've been fortunate enough to capture one of the coveted campsites at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort, it's now time to consider your transportation options to Disney's theme parks while staying at the campsites. In this episode, we're going to look at 5 different transportation options to consider while staying at Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground. Hey everybody, this is John Marucci. Thanks for visiting the On the Road YouTube channel. This channel is all about helping you get the most out of your RPod experience. Before we get going, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when new videos are published. If you want to dive deeper, we put more photos and information on Instagram and Twitter at John Marucci. So let's jump in. You know, Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground is a large place and there's a lot of transportation options to get around to the theme parks at Disney World. The first one we're going to talk about is buses. Now, at Fort Wilderness, there are buses going around the loops, but also buses to the theme parks. They'll go to Epcot and Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. Okay, the buses are free, but they can be pleasant experiences and also unpleasant experiences in terms of the time you take the buses and how many people are on the buses. So sometimes it can be quite crowded if you hit the buses at the wrong time of the day. The other thing is, free is a word that to be used loosely here. They don't cost you extra. Of course, you're paying for this in your other fees, but there is a big time consideration when you're talking about the buses. Not only do you have to get to the bus stop from Fort Wilderness, but you're also probably going to wait for that bus, and you're going to be taking a little while on that bus to get to the theme park. A classic example is Fort Wilderness to Epcot. Now, as the crow flies, Epcot is just a little over a half mile or so from Fort Wilderness. But the bus to Epcot takes quite a while to get there because it has to go a roundabout way on the road system to get to the Epcot entrance. Okay, the other thing is within Fort Wilderness, you have to actually get to the main bus stops to get to these theme parks. Now, sometimes that can be quite a haul. Where we stayed last time, it took almost a full mile, about 3/4 of a mile to get to the bus stops just to get going. So if you're walking, that's a long distance to walk. Of course, Fort Wilderness has other options like bicycles and golf carts, etc. that you can use. Those cost money, obviously. And you can actually drive to the front bus stop as well if you want to do that. But just realize that there's a pretty good time consideration to get to the bus stops to get to the theme parks. Okay. The second one we're going to look at is boats. Now, there's a specific boat that goes directly to Magic Kingdom. The buses don't go from Fort Wilderness to Magic Kingdom, but there's a nice boat ride that can go take you over to Magic Kingdom from Fort Wilderness. This is at the opposite end of the campgrounds versus the buses. And these are also free, these boats, no extra charge. And you can have some very nice views. We've had some excellent views when taking that boat over from Fort Wilderness Campground over to Magic Kingdom. Now you go right by the iconic Contemporary Resort, under the monorail line, and it opens up in Seven Seas Lagoon to a quite nice panoramic view of the park. And on a nice day, this can be just a beautiful boat ride. Now obviously, like with any transportation, it can be pleasant or at times unpleasant, depending on how many people are on the boat, etc. We've been on it both where we're about the only people on it, and other times where it's been standing room only, like when they're closing the park down. And the other thing to talk about here is that sometimes because Fort Wilderness is very close to the other hotel, the Wilderness Lodge, some of those boats will double up, so they'll take people to Wilderness Lodge first and then drop you off. So it can be quite a bit time consuming to get back from Magic Kingdom. Okay, so there is a big time consideration, even just getting to the boat dock. So where we were staying last time, it was a full mile walk to the boat dock. Now obviously if you have a golf cart or bikes, it'll be shorter time. But it is a long distance from within the campground to get to the boat dock. Okay? The next one we're going to talk about is just taking your car or your tow vehicle to the parks. The parking is $50 if you want quote-unquote preferred parking. Okay, but once you even get there, especially at somewhere like Magic Kingdom, there's still a good distance to walk. So you'll park in the parking lot, but you got to take a tram or walk in to the front, go to through security, and get to the parks. And if you're going to Magic Kingdom specifically by vehicle, then you'll still have to take a boat or monorail to get to the front of the theme park from the Ticket and Transportation Center. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is minivans. Now this is spelled M-I-N-N-I-E as in Minnie Mouse. So these are specific vans that are painted red with white polka dots, and you'll see them around the Disney properties. And one of the nice things about the minivans is they will pick you up at Fort Wilderness Campground right at your site. And so you don't have to go up to the front area or anything to get the minivan. They'll pick you up right where you're located. The big negative about the minivans is that they're very costly. So there's a $15 base charge for the minivan plus a per mile charge, and we'll talk about a little comparison a little bit later in the video here. Now the nice thing is it's kind of a site to theme park experience. So you'll go right from your site and go right to the front of Magic Kingdom. You don't have to go to the Ticket and Transportation Center. No boat or monorail to get across. You just bypass the Ticket and Transportation Center and get dropped off right where the buses are. It's quite nice. And each minivan is quite large. It'll accommodate up to 6 people and even has 2 car seats. So the minivans are kind of preferable if you have a big party and you all want to get to somewhere. Say you want to go to a breakfast appointment you have there or whatnot, and you want to get there conveniently right from your campsite. You can do that. Just remember also they're nice because they're Disney themed, and you access these minivans and kind of order one where you are from the Lyft app. And Lyft is a lot like Uber in terms of a car sharing service. One of the things to know about the minivan is that they will not take you off property. The only place they'll take you is to the airport at a pretty exorbitant price. Okay, the next option is Lyft. So Lyft and Uber are car sharing services, as you guys probably know. And Lyft is the app that Disney has chosen to use for you to book minivans. And the nice thing about the Lyft is they're considerably less expensive than the minivans, and we'll talk about a comparison in a moment. There is surge pricing, right, with Lyft when it's high season. In other words, at park closing, etc., the prices will be a little higher. The only way you can get a Lyft is you have to go to the very front of the park again where the buses are. And they will take you to non-Disney locations. So if you want to go outside the park and go to a restaurant or something, the Lyft will take you there. Okay, so kind of in closing here, let's look at a comparison between the minivan option and the Lyft option. So we did a comparison here from Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground to Animal Kingdom theme park. The minivan cost was 3 times as much as the Lyft cost. So it cost as much as $45, actually $45.61, to take a minivan from your campsite to Animal Kingdom. Okay, the Lyft app, now obviously you have to walk to the front of the park of the campground, was only just under 15 bucks, so quite a bit cheaper than the minivan option. All right, so there's kind of a rundown of the different transportation options that you have from Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground to get to the theme parks. Again, if you like this video, remember to hit the like icon, give it a thumbs up, and share it. And obviously, we always invite our watchers to put their comments in. Many of you have experience at Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground. We sure appreciate you putting comments in. Comments really help other people with their planning. Again, anyway, thanks for watching. This is John Marucci, and so long for now.